Hi, everybody. Mike Smith along with Aaron Glandon on Litter Media Live, as well as on Litter Media Radio as we close out the work week, Friday, February 7th of 2025. I almost said 2024.
That's not right.
Of course, you probably don't even have a checkbook, do you?
No.
For all of us old enough to remember checks, in fact, I think we still do have a checkbook. That was always the trick or the problem with the new year. You always forgot to change the year. And technically, a check's not good if it's not dated correctly.
Right.
As long as I get the paycheck correct, that's okay. In fact, direct deposit kind of took care of all that too. So, oh well. Good to have you with us today. We'll get you caught up on what's happening. It seems like a lot of schools have been having problems keeping kids in class because of illness this time of year with flu and
we have a problem keeping Dan Ramey around.
Well, his issue was something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But, he warned us yesterday that he wouldn't be in today, so that was planned. But he will be with you tomorrow night for the Litter Media Radio Game of the Week, but we'll tell you more about that here in just a moment. Here's the weather, first of all, as we wrap up this work week. Sunshine, it just peeked outside a moment ago as we do this program live, and yes, there is a sunny sky out there with a cloud here or there. Looking for a high today, Friday, of 40. Things might get a little tricky if you're out late tonight and into the overnight to tomorrow morning, Saturday. There's a possibility we could see some freezing rain in the overnight through about 8 or 9 tomorrow morning, Saturday. But then it's supposed to warm up, kind of like it did a couple of days ago with rain, and a high Saturday of 42. Look for clouds and 39 on Sunday, which is the day of the big game.
The big game.
I don't know if you've realized this or not, but in broadcasting, you can't, unless you're using it in sports, like a sportscast, you can't say Super Bowl.
I did know that.
Yeah.
That's why commercials, they say
The big game.
the big game.
Yeah.
And I saw a chip commercial the other day, and they said, get these chips for your big game party.
Right. Now, Fox this week can say that in promoting the game because
it's airing on Fox.
they're broadcasting it. But you can say Super Bowl in a sportscast. You just can't do it to promote, any kind of product or anything like that. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's happening in our topics as well as sports, all coming up, as well as our Litter Media Player of the Week, brought to you by Neil Coleman Insurance and Wyandotte Insurance and Homeland Credit Union. All that's coming up. Litter Media Live. Scioto Valley Dumpsters, the folks with the orange dumpster. One business in our country became known for the golden arches.
Yes.
Scioto Valley Dumpsters is known for the orange dumpster.
Why is it orange? Do you know?
I don't know. Maybe Carl Gerhardt just likes orange.
Maybe. It definitely stands out.
It does indeed. I've told this story before. I was driving to Circleville one day, and it really caught my attention. The truck was coming by with one of these big orange dumpsters, and I thought, I know who that is. 253-8389 will get you a free quote, an estimate. Carl can bring that dumpster out for a day, a week, however long you need it. You can negotiate that with Mr. Gerhardt at Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number, save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, created in the memory of Bryant Beans Butt, call 740-703-0611 or email Jim Butt at jbutt6355@gmail.com.
Have you met Jim Butt yet?
I have not met Jim.
Jim's a great guy. We used to have him in on the radio all the time. In fact, we probably ought to have him on a special edition sometime to talk a little bit more about the history of this program that he's involved in. But every once in a while, I see him out at a ball game somewhere, mostly baseball or softball game. So, Jim, if you're tuned in, looking forward to seeing you here somewhere down the road. A lot of schools are having issues keeping students in class because of illness, and that's often typical for this time of year. Paint Valley local schools, as you see on the screen, put out a letter to parents in the community, and I think there's a number of other schools that have pretty much done the same, just reminding parents and guardians that they should be watchful for signs of illness in their kids, whether it's influenza or the norovirus, which is the stomach bug, and or even COVID. So I think they say if you have a temperature of 100.4, stay home.
You're sick.
This probably would fit for work as well as school.
Yeah.
If you're vomiting, stay home.
Yes.
Please do. If you have diarrhea, stay home. Those are all the things that are listed in that letter that was sent out. So just be advised of that. If you don't feel well, stay home. And I think they say if you've had a fever, you should be under 100.4 for at least 24 hours before you go back to school or work.
Okay. I did not stay home this morning. I was up extra early to go to the Zane Trace FFA 47th annual sausage breakfast. 47 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time to be doing this. And it looked like they had a good turnout. Even at 8:45 when I got there, they had a line to get in. I spoke to some of the FFA students there, Isaac Deddy and Cameron Nemovsky, to hear what they had to say about the event and what the proceeds are going to.
We serve hundreds of community members in this area by serving them sausage and pancakes, having a good time, and we're raising money for things like Children's Hospital, the Ohio FFA, and
Ross County Junior Fair.
What was your turnout this morning?
We don't know yet, but we will know soon. It seemed like a pretty good one. Starts off slow, and then right there at about 7:30.
Yeah, right around
7:30 every time. A bunch of people come in. It felt like a pretty good turnout. Pretty good year. It felt like.
How did it compare to years past?
Leading up to it, it seemed a little bit more stressful than years past. I think we had more to do and a less experienced crew. We had a huge senior class last year and a smaller one this year, so less experience, but we made up for it with our hard work. We came here, we had goals, and I think we completed them.
And no official numbers from that yet, but they said they would let me know when they get those.
All right. I know that's kind of like a social event, too.
Yeah.
You're not only eating breakfast, but you're catching up with some old friends. Did you know that you can get involved in one of the many boards and commissions that help operate the Chillicothe community? Well, if you didn't know that, you can visit the Chillicothe Engage Dashboard Volunteer Opportunities page and check out all of the opportunities. Use your interest and experience to get involved. You can get more information at the website engage.chillicotheoh.gov. I thought you were going to say IO. I paused there.
No, I didn't want to mess up the website.
That would have done it.
Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio's 3rd annual Golf Scramble is on April 25th at the Ohio University Golf Course. All proceeds from this fundraising event support our mission of providing safe, affordable housing in Athens, Meigs, and Hocking County. Register now at habitatseo.charityproud.org.
Join in for an uplifting evening of tribute celebrating the courageous first responders of Hocking County who selflessly makes numerous sacrifices for the greater good of the Hocking County community. This appreciation dinner and fundraiser will be held at Hunter Street Saloon in Logan. That'll be February 22nd at 5 p.m. And you can contact the folks at the Hunter Street Saloon to get more information.
H5N1 bird flu is spreading in some farm animals like poultry and cows. Though rare, it can affect people. It's important to remember to use protective gear when working with poultry, dairy cows, or other animals that could be infected. If you're around poultry, dairy cows, or raw unpasteurized milk, seek medical care if you get symptoms of bird flu: fever, cough, sore throat, muscle aches, shortness of breath, and eye redness.
As we told you before, our road report, we usually bring it back in the month of March, but we would give you some information if something big was coming up. And they've had a lot of water main repair, some gas line repairs that have been going on in the city of Chillicothe. There's another one coming up on East Main Street this coming Monday from 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. East Main, again, will be closed from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. this coming Monday for water main repair. We'll talk about the big game that's coming up Sunday night, as well as some other sports. A great win for the Ohio State men's basketball team last night. We'll tell you all about it coming up on Litter Media Live. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. They've been around for more than 4 decades, serving not only the Scioto Valley, but they've spread out into central Ohio, southwest Ohio, all the way down to the river and more. Whether it's residential or commercial work, give Accurate Heating, Cooling, Plumbing a call.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
I'm a busy woman, and I'm not ready to slow down.
Tiffany's hip pain was interfering with her career and active lifestyle until she came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Dr. Meshbach told me about same-day surgery. I said, I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday.
After a successful procedure, Tiffany was home the very same day and on her way back to enjoying the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
Jumping into sports, we've been talking a lot about high school girls and boys basketball championships that have been decided. Well, tomorrow in the Scioto Valley Conference, Huntington High School will host the SVC Wrestling Championships. Now, both high school and junior high wrestlers will be participating, and this gets underway at Huntington High School tomorrow at 10 a.m.
There was some basketball played last night, girls basketball. In the SOC3, Minford beat Waverly 62-34. Wheelersburg over West 45-34. Wheelersburg now shares the title with Minford. In the SOC1, New Boston beat Clay by 5 points, 50-45. Notre Dame over East 66-14. That was a thumping. Mm-hmm. In the Shack, Lynchburg Clay beat Peebles 42-26. Fayetteville 65. Fairfield 35. And a number of other scores that you can find on our website at leadermedia.com.
And one of those Athens girls win, that wraps up the outright TVC Ohio championship for the Lady Bulldogs for a second straight year.
Yes. Our game of the week for this week gets underway tomorrow at New Hope Christian Academy. Vinton County will be traveling there. We will have the broadcast around 7:20 p.m. Dan Ramey and B.J. Daly will have the call there. I almost said Dan Smith.
There is a Dan Smith. Used to be a great, he's retired now, but volleyball coach up at Ridgewood High School.
People always say you and Dan are like a old married couple.
Well,
that'd be your name.
In some respects. Next week, the game that we were supposed to have last night that got moved to Tuesday, that's Unioto Lady Shermans at Circleville. This will be, of course, non-conference, but it'll be a dandy because these are two of the top teams in our area. Now, this is a varsity game only, and it's going to be starting earlier than normal. That's a 5:30 tip-off, so I'll be up there with B.J. Daly and Aaron. That's a 5:20 airtime Tuesday from Circleville on Litter Media Radio. And then Dan and Aaron, I think B.J.'s unable to be there on Thursday. Ross County Christian Academy taking on Huntington, 7:20 airtime. That game also at Ohio University Chillicothe Shoemaker Centers, where RCCA plays their home games.
Yes.
What a game last night. The Ohio State men, who lost to Maryland earlier this year, actually earlier this season, it was in December, got beat by 24. Last night, the Buckeyes hung right in there with the Terrapins. It was tied at 70, and with 7 seconds to go, Bruce Thornton hit a jumper from the right side of the arc, and they held on for a 73-70 upset of the number 18 ranked Terrapins. That makes now, I believe, 5 top 25 teams that OSU men have beaten this season. So even with 8 or 9 losses overall, they're still hanging in there, hoping for an NCAA tournament berth.
Yeah. Chillicothe's Javon Moffmer scored 11 points and 3 steals and rebounds for Liberty University in a 77-53 win over Louisiana Tech.
Out in Utah last night in the NHL, the CBJ lost to Utah 3-2. And if you did like I did and looked at the upcoming schedule, the NHL takes 2 weeks off. The reason for that is they're having what is called a 4-nation face-off series. And this is a precursor to the NHL getting back in participation with the Winter Olympics of 2026. So something a little different. 2 weeks off for the NHL for the 4-nation face-off.
Interesting. And the big game is, of course, this Sunday, Chiefs and Eagles. I think the Eagles are the home team because the NFC has it this year. But they have 4 or 5 players that are ill right now.
Ooh.
So you talk about bird flu.
Yeah, Eagles. Yeah, I got that, yeah.
Including Jalen Carter, who's probably their best defensive player.
That's not good.
No.
Hopefully they'll be ready to go.
Well, I hope not.
You're rooting for Kansas City.
Yes.
Because you dislike the Eagles because they thumped your Commanders.
Well, I disliked them even before that.
Staying with the NFL awards were handed out last night. This guy for the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, was named the Comeback Player of the Year.
That's the second time he's won this award.
That's an award that I'm sure they appreciate, but you don't want to have to come back from an injury or something like that.
Well, he said this is not an award you want to be nominated twice for.
Yeah. Joe was in the news twice yesterday for this and the knuckleheads from Chile that broke into his house and stole thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. He was in the news for that as well. Also, the Deacon Jones Award, which is most quarterback sacks, another Bengal, Trey Hendrickson. Rookie of the Year, should I let you do this one?
Offensive Rookie of the Year is Jaden Daniels of the Washington Commanders. Of course, there was never a doubt that he was going to win this award.
And also had the Player of the Year for the Hail Mary win against the Bears. Bears. Players that will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame next summer in Canton. That'll be Jared Allen of the Vikings, Sterling Sharp of the Packers. Sterling was also, I think, with the Broncos. Eric Allen of the Eagles, Antonio Gates of the Chargers. So congratulations to all of those Hall of Famers that they'll be inducted in Canton, Ohio.
And if you want to know who won the MVP, it was Josh Allen. over
Josh
over
Allen.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people were, how'd that happen? Because Lamar won first team All-Pro.
That's true.
And this is the first time since 1987 that the first team All-Pro player was not the MVP.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
So now we give you our Player of the Week, which is the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual, brought to you by Homeland Credit Union.
Yes.
Cam Janes of the Western boys basketball team. About a week ago, Cam had a 36-point performance, and that was the military appreciation night.
Yeah, that's why he's wearing an Army jersey here.
Yeah, he hadn't accepted an offer from Army just yet. But Cam scored 36 points that night, as well as eclipsed the 1,000 career point mark. So congratulations to Cam Janes of the Western Indians. We have a musical memory. We were talking literature yesterday. We'll go back to 1964. Are you old enough to remember these guys when they participated in the British invasion? All ahead on Litter Media Live.
First, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane, custom tank colors and wraps. Find out how a propane tank can be beautiful at litterpropane.com.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Haynes Total Healthcare Center is celebrating 50 years of serving the chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs of the community. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com, and it will take you right to their website to learn more. HaynesHealth.com.
All right, as we bring the curtain down for today's program, this date in history, 1964, Pan Am Yankee Clipper Flight 101 from London Heathrow lands at New York City's Kennedy Airport, and Beatlemania arrives. It was the first visit to the United States by the Beatles, a British rock and roll quartet that had just scored its first #1 in the U.S., I Want to Hold Your Hand. At Kennedy, the Fab Four, dressed in mod suits and sporting their trademark pudding bowl haircuts, as you see in this picture. Of course, John's got a little hat on there. They were greeted by 3,000 screaming fans who caused a near riot when the boys stepped off their plane and onto American soil. And that was just the beginning.
Yeah.
Because the British invasion was more than just the Beatles. It was also the Rolling Stones and Gary and the Pacemakers and everybody else from England that made it big. Of course, they were big in England, but I think they probably had more record sales because of the mass volume in the United States than they did overseas. And that lasted for 6 years.
Yeah. What I think is crazy is the music that the Beatles made was only over about a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And the music from the first half of the decade that they were making is totally different from the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pop music, and then they made Revolver and switched to this avant-garde, weird rock music that is arguably better, but less appealing to the mainstream audience.
Now, little known fact to some, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, they were kind of like in competition. Paul McCartney and John Lennon said that Pet Sounds, which was the Beach Boys going in that direction after Revolver, probably even more so, they said, the Beatles said that Pet Sounds, which was critically tanked in the States for the Beach Boys, they said that that was the inspiration for Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
You go to best album of all time lists, and Pet Sounds is always in the top 10 now. It's the reception from today, looking back, is a lot different than it was at the time.
But isn't that the way it is? Not only in music, but movies. There's a lot of movies that people hated it. Well, the critics did. And then because of replay or reruns on TV and whatever, it now has become a classic. So that was certainly the case there.
We have a correction from Dan Ramey. Can you read that right there?
I think it says, I'm trying to get focused here. Cam scored 36 in versus Western Brown, on the night that he scored 1,000. So apparently that was not the military night. Or was it?
No. The military night they played Eastern.
Okay, gotcha. So why were they wearing the Army jersey? Or maybe that was
that's the photo I have.
But it wasn't from the game that he scored 36 and 1,000.
Right.
Gotcha. Now we're on the ball. So thanks. You screwed me up.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's going to wrap it up for this week. No radio coverage for basketball tonight. In fact, that'll be the case next Friday night, even though we still have 3 games scheduled each of those weeks. We're just going to be off on Friday. Dan and BJ and Aaron will be up at the Maxwell Center at Ohio Christian University. If you got nothing else to do or no one else to follow, going up to that game, the Maxwell Center, that's a really nice facility, which is the home of Ohio Christian University. And I think the men's team for the college plays at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then the New Hope versus Vinton County boys basketball games will follow that, probably JV around 6 o'clock. Have a great weekend, everybody. Dan and Aaron will be back with you on Monday, and I'll be back to see you come Tuesday. And go Eagles.
Nope.
He got his 2 cents with the Chiefs. I'm rooting for the Eagles. Until that time, from all of us here at Litter Media Live and Litter Media Radio, have a great weekend, everybody.